As you heard just there, relations between Israel and the EU have reached a new low as Spain and Ireland this Tuesday, along with Norway, prepare to formally recognise a Palestinian state. In response, Israel's Foreign Minister Israel Katz told Spain that its consulate in Jerusalem will no longer be allowed to provide assistance to Palestinians as of Saturday. Punishment, said Katz, for, quote, rewarding terror, a reference to Hamas's 7th of October massacre in southern Israel that sparked the ongoing war in Gaza. Well, for more, we can bring in Gilbert, who's a professor of development studies and international relations at SOAS University in London. Thank you very much for being with us here on France 24 today. Could you tell us, in your words, what exactly these three countries are hoping to achieve with these formal recognitions of Palestinian statehood?
Well, they are hoping to help push forward the kind of settlement that the EU supports, that even the United States officially supports, which is the creation of a Palestinian state alongside the state of Israel. And as you know, there is a vast majority of the states of the UN member states who already recognize the state of Palestine. And with these three new European states, you have 1/3 of the EU already also recognizing this state of Palestine. And this is, a way, especially under the circumstances also, of underlining the fact that there is a support for the Palestinian people, which of course, is not to be confused with support for Hamas. I mean, neither Spain nor Ireland or Norway, for that matter, are in any way supporters of Hamas, as Israel is now trying to portray them. That's rather ridiculous. They are just supporters of what is supposed to be international law, since international law provides for this creation of a Palestinian state.
Now, for decades, formal recognition of a Palestinian state had been seen as the end game of a negotiated peace settlement between Israelis and Palestinians. What is it about the war in Gaza that's changed that?
Well, first of all, most of the people of most of the countries that recognize the Palestinian state have been doing so for many years. It's not. Except for these three European states, it's not something new and related to Gaza. But of course, the extent of the genocidal massacre that is occurring in Gaza is such that it makes this whole issue much more urgent in the view of the international community, as one says, not only because of concern about the Palestinian lives. To be frank, I don't think that's the primary motivation for Western states, but it's rather about the very destabilizing impact that all this will have. And we see it already. The destabilizing impact of what is going on in Gaza globally. We see it at the universities level and the rest. It has been compared to the impact of the Vietnam War in the past. And you can be sure that the impact in the Middle East itself will be tremendous and for a long time to come. And this will definitely spill over into Europe and even the United States.
And this move by Madrid, Dublin and Oslo has, of course, as we mentioned earlier, provoked a furious response from Israel. Israel's Foreign Minister Israel Katz describing the recognitions as an award to Hamas for their massacres of the 7th of October. Do you, to any extent, agree with that?
No, I just said it is preposterous to portray things in this way. It's not, if anything, it's not a reward for Hamas. It's a punishment, it's a sanction for Israel's brutality and Israel's genocidal war. That's a kind of statement by these three states of revulsion at this awful, horrible spectacle of the massacre that is going on. But this being said, these are symbolic gestures. And even the official recognition by the UN, even if we suppose that the United States would change its position, the official recognition of a state of Palestine would in no way be a solution for the problem and would be in no way an end to this very severe crisis in the Middle East. So it would take much more than that. And the problem is that the Israeli government the present Israeli government is opposed even to the very minimal kind of perspective that Western countries support.
Now, some people would say that a recognition of Palestinian statehood gives a false sense that a two-state solution, that a viable two-state solution is closer than it really is. Let's not forget we've got two rival factions. We have Hamas still leading a decimated Gaza, Fatah very much in disarray in the West Bank. What do you say to people who say this sort of move only gives false hope, possibly?
Well, first of all, a recognition of a state of Palestine at the UN level would be essentially symbolic on the one hand, and also providing the Palestinian Authority with some jurisdiction, judicial tools at the global level, which it might take advantage of. But that's very limited. The key point is that in order to have any kind of Palestinian state, which would be recognized by the Palestinians themselves, the Palestinian population, as representing some meaningful, even if provisional settlement, you would need one which is based on a complete withdrawal of the Israeli army from the occupied territories, 1967 occupied territories, and that includes today Gaza, of course, a complete withdrawal from these territories, dismantlement of the settlements in the West Bank, and other conditions which, in the foreseeable future, one cannot see the present Israeli state and even the present Israeli opposition really adhering to. So when the United States, the Biden administration, speaks of a Palestinian state, what they have in mind is a control of the Gaza by they are thinking now of bringing in Arab armed forces from Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, and Morocco, which would control Gaza in coordination with the Israeli army. And you have in the West Bank this situation where you have a few territories officially under control of the Palestinian Authority, but which are de facto under direct Israeli control, and the Israeli army intervenes regularly, as we are seeing now. We were speaking of that, but there have been hundreds of people killed in the West Bank since October 7, alongside the more than 35,000 killed in Gaza. So this is a very tragic situation, and there's no end in sight for the time being, at the very least, except if the international solidarity movement, especially in the United States itself, grows to the point of really forcing a change in U.S. attitude, because it's basically the United States that is enabling that kind of behavior on the part of the Israeli state.
Gilbert Achcar, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. Gilbert Achcar, Professor of Development Studies and International Relations at the University of SOAS in London. Thank you very much.